Hey, it's the announcement guy. I'm coming to you live from planet Earth, and I just want to welcome you to our Earth Day service today. We got some great things coming up in the community center afterwards, and so glad you decided to join us. Just a couple of tips. Stop using plastic, seriously. If you're still using little plastic bottles, cut it out. You can get one of these just about at any lost and found anywhere. You can just carry it around, drink out of it for a while, and when you're done with it, just leave it someplace, and somebody else will pick it up. Here's what's coming up.
Saturday, April 29th, our Community Connection Fair for elder care and family caregivers gets underway. This informational and education-packed event provides an opportunity for our community to explore the myriad of valuable resources available to those who are family caregivers and caregivers for elders. Get your tickets at milehighchurch.org.
Our Youth and Family Ministry presents Part 2 of What I Wish My Parents Knew on April 30th, 11:45 in the Community Center. This chapter is devoted to anxiety. Discover what might be going on with your child or teen, what to look out for, how to identify their triggers, and most importantly, learn what you can do. You'll find ways to support your children's mental health and your own by association, and we will have qualified panelists on hand to answer questions.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, did you know it is possible to participate with Mile High Church every day?
Really? How do people do that?
It's through the wonders of technology, like the Insight Timer app, where you can listen to meditations by our Mile High ministers pretty much anytime you want.
Oh, wow.
And then there's our Mile High Church podcast, where you can get a message from you or myself or from one of our wonderful Mile High ministers, and we have bonus content from time to time as well.
That's wonderful. So do people just search for us on either of those platforms?
Find us online or just go to milehighchurch.org and you can get all the links there.
Awesome. I'm going now.
So once again, so glad that you're here for our Earth Day service today. Earth Day began in 1970 with just a group of Americans. Now it's celebrated in over 192 countries around the world. We got work to do, and that's what we're up to. So stop over the community center after service and have a great week.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning online. Come, take a hand. Come, give your heart. Come, as you are. Come, come, and lift your voice. Come, shine your light. Come, now is the time. Come, this day we have made with God. Come see what love has done. Come, take a hand. Come, give your heart. Come, as you are. Come, lift your voice. Come, shine your light. Come, now is the time. Come, as we gather in this sacred space. Spirit meets us face to face. Come, take a hand. Come, give your heart. Come, as you are. Come, lift your voice. Come, shine your light. Come, now is the time. Come,
Denise Rossier right there. So glad you're with us. Thank you, Denise. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Earth Week. So glad that you're here today, and we get to celebrate Earth Day together. We got some great stuff coming up in the community center afterwards. We got a special guest going to be giving a talk at 11:30. Mike Nelson, glad you're here, buddy. Right there. Yeah, and I seem to be ringing a little bit. Is it me? Hello. I spent a lot of time in a big barrel this morning, and it's starting to show. Yeah, it's okay. So Nathan is fixing that right now. Yeah. Just keep going, please. Just keep going, please. All right. So a guy walks into a bar, and all right, I'm not going to do that. But I'm glad that you're here. If you're here for the first time at Mile High Church, we're so glad that you're here. We welcome you, and it's like this way every week, except for the ringing. And so we're celebrating Earth Day today. Just so glad that we're doing it. So we're going to start with our vision and our mission, because it's a big part of what I'm going to be talking about today. Our vision is oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Yeah, so that's what we're about here. And know that you're welcome. We got some people from other communities here, and I'm so glad to have us all together to celebrate this day and to focus forward. So we're going to start out with a short piece of music. We're going to have some silence, and then we'll pray together. Thanks for being here. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
What a joy it is to take this time this morning to just come together as community in prayer. And whether we are here in this beautiful sanctuary or at home online, we know we're all connected through that one aspect of the divine. And we take a moment this morning in celebration of Earth Day to just marvel at the amazing world in which we live. And here in Colorado, we can so easily see the majesty of the mountains. This beautiful, beautiful planet that we have been gifted with. And so we also take a moment to just honor all people on this planet, all faith paths, knowing that whether we gather in a church or an ashram or a temple or a mosque, or simply by a beautiful, clear forest stream, these are all paths to God. And as a human race, we know we stand for good. And here at Mile High Church, we honor every individual, all unique expressions, all lifestyles. What a great joy and blessing it is to be a part of this beautiful community. I am so grateful for all of those who come together to create this amazing community called Mile High Church, all those who help it thrive and be a vibrant part of this community. And so I know that as I release these words and this truth into that beautiful alchemy of love and law, that all is well, because all is God, and so it is.
Everything is sacred. Everything is filled with the divine. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a wonder, unfolding right before our eyes. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. And everything is a blessing, bursting from the earth and sky. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everyone is sacred. Everyone is filled with the divine. Everyone is alive with spirit, with spirit. We are alive with spirit, with spirit. Affirm that with me. We are alive with spirit, with spirit. We are alive with spirit, with spirit.
Our inspirational words today from Carl Sagan. Preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. And from Manal Aman. Earth has long challenged human minds to observe and to reflect. Just by our mere inspection of our planet, We gain important knowledge of science and of ourselves, and it's safe to say that nature has a powerful way of teaching us wisdom and healing us. But the planet is also truthful about consequences. Accountability is a part of humanity, and our actions have an impact on living things. The more knowledge we have, the better choices we make in our actions. And from Jackie Spear, every day is Earth Day, and I vote we start investing in a secure climate future right now. And I think this gentleman says it all. From Black Elk, Ogallala, Lakota Holy Man. The Holy Land is everywhere.
The creatures of the earth, big and small, and every hair on my head, you've counted them all. The secret of the stars and the mysteries of Mars are nothing for you to solve. You are God of everything. You spoke your name and it all came into being. You are God of everything. You've made your home inside of me. There is nothing else I need. You are God of everything. The path of time moves like shifting sand, but I am steadied by perfect hands. Vast deserts of fear and deep oceans of tears all disappear at your command. You are God of everything. You spoke your name and it all came into being. You are God of everything. You've made your home inside of me. There is nothing else I need. You are God of everything. Oh, the wonder of wonders. You are. You
Denise Rossier right there. Thank you, Denise. Thank you for your beautiful music today. And thank the Mile High All-Stars, Bijou, Mike, Rob, and the doctor, Kent Rautenstrauss. That wasn't bad. That's good. So, happy Earth Week, everybody. So glad that you're here, and we get to celebrate this together. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have some fun this morning. So the reason I got this Earth Day talk, Josh switched Sundays with me because I'm the garden guy here. And so I was lucky enough to get this Earth Day talk. And also, Dr. Patty and I have started doing the Mile High Sacred Earth Ministry together. So we're bringing that back. And so great to have Patty on the team. Yeah. So we got some great stuff coming up in the Sacred Earth Ministry, and you know, I'm passionate about a sustainable future. Two of the reasons that I'm passionate about it are my granddaughters, and a lot of people wondering, where is that picture? There it is, right there, right? So we want to save all this great majesty of the earth for our grandkids, and so yeah, they're a big reminder for me of why it's so important. And we're going to be talking about that today. The international theme for Earth Day this year is invest in our planet. And I think that that's a thing to do. Earth Day was the brainchild of Gaylord Nelson, who was a governor and then a senator from Wisconsin in the late 60s. And he saw that things weren't going that well. In 1969, a river in Ohio caught on fire, the Cuyahoga River. Some of you might remember that. It's never a good sign when the rivers are on fire. So there was a lot of toxic waste getting dumped into the rivers, and just overall, he could see that there was time. It was time to bring some attention and some focus to the earth, and so he proposed Earth Day. And really was trying to capitalize on the student movement. And so that's why it's on April 22nd, between spring break and when kids get out of school and college. And so the first Earth Day in 1970 had about 20 million people involved with marches and also teach-ins at many of the universities around the country, and just teaching people about the earth and about how to do a better job at it. And it really got to be bigger than anybody had imagined. You know, you got Republicans and Democrats and scientists and farmers, and everybody was getting involved because we realized that we have a kind of a common thing, is that we're all citizens on the earth here. And anybody here from other planets, by the way? Okay, just talk about baseball, you'll fit in. So, but we have that common thing, and he really touched a nerve. And so Earth Day began in 1970 and has really evolved over the years. To now there's over 1 billion people involved, over 192 countries around the world. So it's become a global thing, and it's the largest civic event that we have on the planet, you know, a secular civic event that everybody can participate in. So I'm so glad that we're celebrating it here today, that we have some things going on in the community center, because it's important that we all commit ourselves to this. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, is our commitment and growing stronger together. Where I want to start is consciousness, because I think really the sacred earth is a consciousness issue. And I think that's where it begins. And we're in the consciousness business here at Mile High Church, aren't we? So I think that consciousness is a great place to start. When we began this morning, we said our vision. You might remember it, even though it isn't up on the screen. Let's say it together. Oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. So when we start with oneness revealed, I think that's what Earth Day and Earth Week is about right now. Because at this time on the planet, with global warming and the the weather, the way that the weather is changing, the way that we can see the whole planet. Oneness is being revealed to us in a very dramatic way. The earth is revealing oneness to us. That's where we are. We're here now. We can see the whole thing. We can see the ice caps. We can see the islands that are going to be underwater. We can see it. Oneness is being revealed. And we're being called on to change our consciousness and to think of ourselves as Earth citizens first. We get so much information about the things that divide us politically, socially, geographically, spiritually. We have so much focus on our divisions, and yet there are important things that we have in common. And I think Earth Day shows us that. So it was great celebrating Earth Day. Yesterday, I got to celebrate Earth Day with a friend of mine who's here today, Ted Ning, who's a beekeeper. He called me up in the morning and said, I got some bees. Can we plug them in? And so he came up to my house, and we plugged in a new bunch of bees up in my house. This will be our third year. We're hoping for a good harvest. And you can remember just a few years ago when it was like, man, all the bees are going away. All the bees are going away because of pesticides. People stepped up and started having beehives in their backyard. Things are getting better. And I think the thing of thinking of ourselves as global citizens first is really an important part of this, because our consciousness is where it begins, and where things are going to change. It's going to change our habits. It's going to change our ideas. It's going to change the way that we buy things, and it's going to change the way that we process all the elements in our lives. And I've been reading some interesting books lately by an author named Ilchi Lee, and he talks a lot about changing our consciousness. A couple of his books are up here. One of them is called Earth Citizen, that I really like. And the cover is a passport. All it says on it is Earth Citizen. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I think we got to start moving in that direction. Think of ourselves as Earth citizens first. Dr. Patty read a thing from Carl Sagan this morning about the pale blue dot. This is the picture that he was talking about right here. The pale blue dot. This is a picture taken from outer space by the Voyager at a distance of 3.7 billion miles away. So Carl Sagan asked if they could turn the telescope around and take this picture, because he thought this would change the consciousness of people on Earth if they could see what it really looks like where we live, how small and fragile it is out there. And every astronaut who's gone up and seen the Earth from outer space has been changed. Their consciousness has changed because they began to think of themselves as Earth citizens, without the borders, without the boundaries, without the national disagreements. So this book by Ilchi Lee about changing our consciousness. He is the founder of Body, Brain, Yoga, and Tai Chi. Started in Korea many years ago. We got some people here from that group today, and they'll be over in the community center. And so he has this idea about changing our ideas about consciousness. He said, every step in our history has been a step away from a limited point of view to a larger, more inclusive point of view. Over time, we have progressed from the tribe to the village, to the city, to the nation. As our awareness expands, so do the boundaries of our personal identity. And like an adolescent, we must make the choice between childish, self-serving ways and the higher way of compassion and responsibility. For this reason, it is a great time to be human. All the crises we now face are also a blessing. They are the wake-up call that will raise us to the next level of human existence. I like that, looking at this time as a blessing, an opportunity for us to wake up. We said our mission this morning, to be a lighthouse, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. That's a lot of what this Earth Week is about, of seeing how as individual citizens of Earth, as our consciousness changes and our habits change, the whole world is going to change. We can see it now. We can feel it. We can feel that momentum has a great possibility of changing the situation that we're in now, changing those headlines, because we have a tendency to focus on the negative. Has anybody ever noticed that the news is always bad? And so what we do as citizens is going to change that, is going to change the news. That's what Earth Day is about. With no cell phones, no internet, no email. They got those 20 million people together in 1970 and started something that is still alive today. It gives us the idea of the power of the grassroots movement, and we are a part of that right now. So when I jumped into the Sacred Earth Ministry, I started to do a little research. I got together with Meg Schenk, who is one of our practitioners here, and she's a waste warrior. She's around here someplace. If you're around, Meg, go ahead and stand up. I don't know where you are. There she is, right there. Yeah. So she's a waste warrior, and she said, do you want to go visit a recycling plant with me? So we went to the largest single-stream recycling plant in Denver, got on the hard hats and the vests and walked around, and it was just great to see this thing in action. Everything gets dumped into the beginning and goes on these conveyor belts into all these different sections, and people are picking stuff out, and most of what they're spending their time doing is picking stuff out that doesn't belong in there. And so we can get better at that and make that more efficient. They got 3 robots in there, each programmed to pick out a different kind of plastic. We could stand right next to where they were working. And at the end of the line, things get bundled up into these big blocks that put on railroad cars and get made into different stuff. And part of the narrative has been, well, none of that stuff really gets recycled. It always winds up in the dump anyways. That's not true, and we can get better at it. Meg will be over there today with some great handouts on how we can get better at recycling. And me, I'm a big compost guy. Big farmer. I like doing that. And I started probably 20, 30 years ago with a compost pile. 4 by 8 feet, just digging it in there. One of my favorite spiritual practices is to stick a shovel into that compost pile and talk to the worms for a little bit. Somehow they seem to understand. And when we first started gardening here in Colorado, it was interesting, sticking a shovel into the ground. It was kind of like hitting a bullet. And we learned about clay and about clay soils, and that's what got us into composting. And we've changed that clay soil where we garden into great garden soil. And it's something that we can do. It's a great thing that we can do. One of the things I'm glad about here is we just got a composting machine this week for the church. And we're getting back into recycling again. And I want to thank, it's a good thing. I want to thank our facilities director, Todd Graves, for leading the charge on that and for the great staff that he's got to do that. So I'm happy that we're going to be getting to do it. It's going to be part of our Rainbow Day Camp this year. And, it's pretty important that if we're up here talking about it, that we're also committed to it ourselves. So I'm glad that we're doing that, because I think commitment is a big part of what Earth Day is. We all can see how bad it is. We can all see the negative aspects of what we're doing on the planet. But I think now it's time that we commit ourselves to doing something about it. You guys up for that? Yeah. Up for the little commitment thing? One of the things our founder, Ernest Holmes, said something that I really love about commitment. He said, we need more backbone and less wishbone. There is something which awaits only our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power in the universe. More backbone and less wishbone. We can get this done. And I think commitment is a big part of it. One of my favorite quotes that we use here, we use it in our curriculum. I've used it before on a Sunday, and it's just, it has always meant so much to me. And I just think it's such a great way to think about commitment and how commitment changes the world around us. I got the opportunity to do a wedding ceremony for our son Gabe and his wife in December up in the mountains. And this quote was a part of their ceremony, which I really loved about commitment. It's from a guy named W.H. Murray, who was a mountain climber during World War II and before World War II. And he got captured. He grew up in Scotland, but he was fighting in World War II, and he was captured by the Germans, spent 3 years in prisoner of war camps, almost starved to death. But while he was in one of these camps, he started writing a book called Mountaineering in Scotland. And he was writing it on rough toilet paper. That's how he was spending his time. And he got pretty far into the book when he got discovered by the Gestapo, and they destroyed the book. And so he started again. You know, to the amazement of the people around him, like, man, what are you doing? But this guy had a level of commitment. He was committed as a mountain climber. He was committed as a writer. He was committed as a man. And he said this: until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from that decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance, which no one could have dreamed would have come their way. I have learned a deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets. Whatever you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. Begin it now. I think that's where we are. We've done a fair job of cleaning up the earth, but now we're going to begin at a higher level. A greater sense of commitment to our work as Earth citizens is what's being called for right now. We can do this. And a big reason that I know that we can do this is because of our creativity. A big thing that we're good at teaching here at Mile High Church is the creative process. It's really where Ernest Holmes came from, was the creative process. That in the beginning, in Genesis, you might remember that, it was in that book that you have somewhere, God created heaven and the earth. The Spirit that created all things is still alive and creating things now. And it's through us that things get created. And our founder was big on the creative process. We teach it to our kids in a way called the seed, the soil, and the plant. We get some good potting soil. We get some packets of seeds, and the kids pick out a seed they'd like to plant and put it in the cup. That's how we teach the creative process. Now, I know most of that dirt winds up in the back seat of the car on the way home, but still, it's an important lesson. And it's the basic lesson of science of mind. Our thoughts are planted as seeds in the garden of divine mind, and they become the things in our life. Ernest Holmes, in the beginning of his book, The Science of Mind, says, behind the individual is the universal, which has no limits. In this concept alone lies the possibility of eternal and endless expansion. So this is how I know that we've got what we need to solve these problems, our creativity. I mean, with this kind of creativity, with this power that we are aligned with, the power for good in the universe that is so much greater than we are we saying we can't do this? That we can't solve this? I love what Dr. Lloyd used to say. That we are chemists in the laboratory of divine mind. What shall we create? We are chemists in the laboratory of divine mind. What shall we create? So our creativity, we're seeing things all the time. If we tune into a different station, you're going to see all the things that are being created to capture carbon, to clean things up, to clean up the oceans, to grow food more efficiently, to raise not only produce, but livestock more efficiently, in more healthy ways. It's happening. We're creating it, and we're a part of it. The last thing I want to talk about is community. You know, we're inviting people from all different communities to be here today, expanding our idea of community. And it's so great to be a hub for that. Margaret Wheatley said something that I love. There is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. No power for change greater than a community that discovers what it cares about. We care about the sacred earth here. And we're going to reach out, connect with other people and other communities that care about sacred earth. I got to do another field trip with Dr. Patty and with one of our practitioners, Diane Short. We went to a church conference, and it was churches that cared about sacred earth, about climate justice, about carbon capture. And it was so good to be with people that were that committed. And they had speakers and they had tables. And we learned a bunch. We learned about the power of church communities coming together and being that sacred place where the earth is not only honored, but where we're active, moving forward. We're active moving forward to do this work that we know needs to be done. So we're going to be moving in that direction here. We're going to have a bulletin board up in the community center about sacred earth events that are coming up, things that are happening in the community and in the larger community. Like I said, we started composting. We're going to be doing recycling. We're going to have a coexistence festival here in June, partnering with some other people, talking about coexistence. We have so many differences, but where are we going to bring our focus? Where are we going to bring our consciousness? This concept of earth citizenship is such a great one. It really is. And that's the gift that we have right now. You know, one of the things that happened with COVID is it really drove us inside, drove us out of the natural world and drove us deeper into the virtual world. Spend a lot more time on our devices, on our pads. We had kindergarten kids on iPads trying to do their work with their teachers. Technology really invaded the home in a way that it never has before. It was heading there, but it really accelerated. But not only do we need community, we need nature. And our kids need nature. They need to be out in the natural world. I think most of us can remember a generation ago, we had to get dragged inside. Now you got to drag kids outside. So what I say is, drag them. I was just rereading one of my favorite books. It's up here. It's called Last Child in the Woods by an author named Richard Louv. And I love this book. Got it in our bookstore now, and I'm glad it's there. He talks about rescuing our children from nature deficit disorder. The importance of getting our kids out into the natural world. This is where we live. This is what he said. Nature deficit disorder can be recognized and reversed, both individually and culturally, but deficit is only one side of the coin. By weighing the consequences of the disorder, we also can become more aware of how blessed our children can be, biologically, cognitively, and spiritually, through positive connection to nature. Indeed, the new research focuses not so much on what is lost when nature fades, but what is gained in the presence of the natural world. What an amazing place we live here in Colorado. It's an amazing place. All of us know how we're healed when we drive up into the mountains and go for a hike. We've got these great parks, and it's just so important that we get our kids out into nature. You know, I spent 30, 40 years working in the youth ministry here. Got to see so many kids grow up here. Great kids. Some of them are here this morning with their own kids. I don't know how that happened. But this sacred earth we're talking about this morning, it isn't really ours. It belongs to our kids and our grandkids. And we're just borrowing it for a while. And what we do now has so much to do with what we're going to leave them. And they're counting on us. They're counting on us. So I think this Earth Day, we're going to make that commitment. We're going to use our creativity. And our grandkids are going to look back and be proud of what happened today. Are you with me? Cool. Let's pray together. So we connect right now with that one power, that one presence, that one mind that brought all things into being, and that is alive right now within each of us. That power for good. And we align our consciousness with it, with a sense of high purpose. And we open to the creativity of the living Spirit. And we say, yes, we can. Yes, we can. I give thanks for each person here this morning, for each person tuning in online. Everyone hears the sound of my voice. I give thanks for the possibility of change that lives within us at this moment in time. We are alive on this pale blue dot with great work to do. We can do it. So I give thanks for each of you, for the difference that you make with your consciousness, with your decisions, with your commitment, your creativity. And I give thanks for this blessed community right here as it continues to expand and connect with other communities. We get this work done with a great sense of joy. And so it is.
You are God of everything. You spoke your name and it all came into being. You are God of everything. You made your home inside of me. There is nothing else I need. You are God of everything.
Thank you, Denise. So now's the time we're get the opportunity to share our gifts, and I want to thank you all for your support, especially for your support of our youth ministry, which is going great, and that we came out so strong on the other side of the pandemic. So thank you. There are ways up on the screen that you can give, and we still have the primitive way of passing the baskets, which is the same way that Moses used to do it around the campfire. And so we're using those same baskets this morning. So if you would repeat our affirmation with me. Find love as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
blessed. I am 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 blessed.
Thank you, Denise, and this wonderful guy right here. Let's give it up for Barry Ebert, the doctor, and the world's greatest band ever. Thank you. We do have so much to be grateful for. Wonderful community in which you all are, and I just want to invite those of you who perhaps are with us for the first time to, and we welcome you. Stop by our Welcome Center, which is in our lobby, if you care to receive more information. And also at either end of the lobby are our resource shelves, so you can pick up some information there too. And I also want to just acknowledge our religious science practitioners that have come up front. So if prayer is calling to you, make space to be with one of them today. Mike, it's so wonderful having you.
I want to introduce Mike Nelson here, who you guys know. He was a weatherman for a little while, about 40 years, won 18 Emmys, and knows a little bit about climate. So say hello, buddy.
Thank you so much, Barry. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed your presentation, your beautiful singing, the band. Everything has just been an amazing start to a beautiful Sunday. I will be speaking in about a half an hour over there in the community center. Yeah. I'm still getting my way around the campus here. Presentation about climate change and the solutions that we actually have. And it's kind of put it in three ways. Climate change is simple: add heat, it gets warmer. It's serious for many of the reasons that we've already discussed this morning, and I'll discuss more. But importantly, it's solvable, and we can still fix this, and that's what I'll be focusing on. So I look forward to seeing many of you next door in a few minutes. Thank you for having me.
And we have a really exciting event coming up next Saturday. It's the Community Connection Fair, and it's going to be resources to support elder care. And so we're going to have a lot of experts here to talk about legal, medical, insurance aspects, effective tools for those living with dementia, residential options for seniors, productive family conversations, and how to reduce caregiver stress and care management. So you can sign up online. Both Dr. Patty and I will be out in the lobby. Come find us if you have any questions.
And I want to invite all of you to check out our interfaith display, which you already probably have, but there has been an update and there are more spiritual practices to take home. The theme of this display is All Paths Lead to Center. So there's different faith traditions over there. And then after you go and listen to Mike, you can join me online when his presentation completes, because I'm doing a workshop online today for Tibetan Buddhist spiritual practices. And it does start at 11:30, but if you want to pop in later, it's totally flexible, and it will end at 1 p.m. So for those of you who are joining us online, I hope to see you there, and I hope some of you can too.
Cool. Well, life is good. Everybody feeling positive? All right. So I'd ask you now to stand for the benediction and the peace song. Grab a hand of somebody near you. You guys are looking good this morning. So we open right now to the possibilities that lie before us. And we are committed, and there is a creativity moving through each of us right now. Yes, we can. We're going to do this. So I give thanks for your commitment, your creativity, your passion, and let there be a sense of joy in our work. And so it is. Amen.